Hello, beautiful collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl. And this is your monthly forecast for November 2025. Okay, we're already at the end of the year, but we're still in Scorpio season, and there's a lot of Scorpio energy out there. So there's a lot of reveal. You know, Scorpio is mysterious, but the revealing of the false truths are coming out in the open. So just be aware that, you know, the untruths, the lies, the underhanded hate is showing up. And that way, that energy can be dealt with. We have a full moon that's coming up on the 5th, and it's a super full moon, and it's in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is about agriculture and about finances. But here in the U.S., we can see the breakdown of our governmental system and the those people who are in need of extra help for food and subsidy. So that is opening up and crumbling out into the open. But then on a personal note, those who are those people who have been deceitful, deceiving, and out to hide their feelings towards another person is coming out in the open. Okay, and that energy that's coming out has to be dealt with. Okay, so that's the purpose of it being shown. That's why the veil is thin now, so that each individual can see what it is that you're doing and what it is that has been done to you. Now, those people who have been done to, you'll get to see how this karmic energy plays out, because all of that negative energy that has been thrown at you by, you know, people you don't know, is being returned to sender. Okay, and it's once it's returned to its sender, it has to be dealt with. Okay, so anyway, as I said before, this is your monthly reading for November. Now, as we get into the month, we have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th. And we have that super full moon on the 5th. And Venus moves into Scorpio on the 6th. Uranus is retrograding back to Taurus at that 29 degrees on the 7th. And Mercury turns retrograde in Sagittarius on the 9th. Jupiter turns retrograde in Cancer on the 11th. Mercury turns retrograde, I just said that. The new moon in Scorpio is at 28 degrees, and that's on the 19th. And Saturn in Pisces is stationing direct on the 27th, and then Mercury turns direct on the 29th. So with all of the retrogrades that are happening now, this is turning you inward to look at those areas in your life that needs to be refurbished or cleansed, I will say. Okay, Now, a lot of you may not be ready to face your fears because that's exactly what's happening in this Scorpio energy. It's a lot of fear-based energy that is showing up. But when you face your fears and you deal with what it is that's coming up for you, then over time, you'll be able to take a step up in your vibration. So, with all of this energy happening, especially with Uranus, it is like an electric energy where things happen all of a sudden. But while it's in retrograde, it won't act as fast as it would normally act if it was in its forward motion. So I just want to say that those people who are out there who are trying to hurt, cause pain, trauma to another person, all of that is coming back to you. And a lot of times people cannot take what they dish out. They can't handle it. So are you ready to handle what you are dishing out? That is up to you. And now it's time for me to get into the forecast for the month. So I will see you on the other side. Hello to my beautiful Capricorn risings out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl, and this is your monthly forecast for November 2025. I'm laughing because my transmitter pieces fell apart, and when I finished the forecast for the last sign, I switched the record to off, so I thought. So I was trying to fix my transmitter, and I'm talking through this and I'm being recorded. So that's where the laughing is coming from. So that should be a little funny. So anyway, we're going to move right into your forecast this month. And let's get started. So on the 3rd of November, we have a trine with Mars in Scorpio, with retrograde Neptune in Pisces. And this is happening in your 11th house of memberships, associations, large groups, and your social connections. And the trine is with your 3rd house of local community, communication, siblings, neighbors, short distance travel. Okay, so trines are gifts, and you could take it easy through a trine. Okay, it's not like you're going to experience any pain or confusion. All right, so during this phase, you have a powerful emotional drive that is Scorpio that energizes your social networks and community goals, that's supported by your heightened intuition, Neptune and Pisces, and your visionary communication. It's a time when you can lead others with compassion, implement inspired ideas, and create profound bonds within your friendship groups or activist causes. Okay, so Neptune and Pisces are both very spiritual, creative energies, and they are both psychic energy. So, that visionary energy is there where they can see and they can feel um, the invisible. Okay? So on the 4th, we have Mars entering Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 12th house. This house is the house of your self undoing. This is also a house of, maybe self undoing. It's about drugs and, you know, that kind of thing. And it's about unconscious patterns that have been passed down from ancestral, um, that ancestral path. It's about karma, and it's about retreat and solitude. So, this is a house where you go within. And this is Mars in Sagittarius. And this is happening in your 12th house, Capricorn Rising. So this influence suggests that your drive may be less visible to others because it's channeled inward or it's repressed. You may feel frustrated if you can't find outlets for this energy, okay? This is a good time for a retreat, doing some introspective work, or engage in behind the scenes work. You may feel pulled to travel in your mind and explore distant philosophies or immerse yourself in studies that expand your worldview. Now, we're talking about Sagittarius energy here. Okay? There is a need to release old anger, Mars, old patterns, Mars, or the things that drain you. This is a good time for charitable work, helping others, or engaging in spiritual or psychological healing practices. Okay? So, Capricorn Rising, this is for you. And if you can handle it, this is something that will benefit you in the long run. And it's this transit is temporary. So on that same day, we have Mars in Sagittarius opposing retrograde Uranus in Gemini, and this is happening in your 12th house, in your 6th house. Now, your 12th house is your self-undoing. Your 6th house is about your daily routine, your health, your work, your being of service to others and your co-workers. All right? Now, when we have oppositions, these are growth periods. Okay? And it depends on the degrees in which they show up in your chart will determine to what degree you will experience this transit. Okay? So just know that, there's a pull, a tug of war here with this opposition. And that's the way it'll feel if you are going to experience this. This influence generates tension, impulsiveness, and sudden changes. It often forces a breakthrough by disrupting old patterns, shaking mental outlooks, and pushing for freedom from restrictions or subconscious blocks. Okay? You may experience frustration, but be patient, or you may act impulsively. You may experience impatience, okay, or act impulsively. And I said be patient, but yeah, that's what you need to do anyway. Okay, on the 5th, we have the full moon in Taurus, and this is happening in your 5th house of joy, creativity, your inner child, romantic activities, your hobbies, and children are a part of this placement. And your full moon is in Taurus. Okay, Taurus is a fixed sign, and it has some stubborn tendencies, and it doesn't like change. Okay, so this influence encourages you to let go of any blocks to joy, fun, and artistic passions, and indulge in activities that bring you happiness and satisfaction. Your romantic relationships may deepen with a focus on stability and sensual connections. And for people who are single, you may attract partners who can provide comfort and security. Isn't that beautiful? Because Taurus loves comfort and security. Spending time with children or nourishing your inner child is favored at this time. So pamper yourself, even if you do have children. You may profit from your hobbies or creative projects that bring you long-term joy. So just know your skills can work for you in a financial way. So on the 6th, we have another trine, which is Jupiter in Cancer, happening in your 7th house of relationships, and retrograde Saturn in Pisces. And that is in your 3rd house. So let's see. We have your 7th house is about your one-on-one relationships and your legal contracts, marriage partners, open enemies, business partners, your family, and your friends. And your 3rd house is about your siblings, your communication, short distance travel, your local neighborhood, and your friends. And I did say siblings, okay. So this influence encourages you to nurture your partnerships, be optimistic with solid, wise communication and reflection. And that's optimistic Jupiter here. This is the time to grow your relationships. Jupiter again with generosity and insight, which is while solving past communication challenges with patience and care. It can bring long-lasting benefits in your personal and business partnerships. Okay? So just know that this is a trine and you can relax. However, whatever you have to address, you can address with ease. Okay? So on that same day, we have Venus in the sign of Scorpio, square Jupiter in Cancer. So this is affecting your 11th house, and I think we talked about your 11th house, and your 7th house, and we just talked about your 7th house. Okay? Your house of large organizations, your hope, dreams, and wishes, and luck, and your one-on-one relationships, your business partners, legal contracts, and partnerships. So you may have to balance your personal friendships and social ideas with your intimate or one-on-one relationships. Okay? There may be conflict between your desires for deep social involvement and the optimistic, nurturing energy that Jupiter brings to your partnerships. Now, when we do squares are meant for us to grow from, and it creates the tension. Okay? So there is some tense energy here between your friend group and your one-on-one relationships. Okay? So just know there is a balance that needs to be created here. And of course it's Venus, and Venus is all about balance and harmony. And Jupiter is about expansive, enthusiastic, optimistic is the word I wanted to share, energy. Okay, so on the 7th we have Uranus retrograde back into Taurus, and this is happening in your 5th house of joy. Okay, and it's at a critical degree, but 29 degrees is a critical degree. So this influence prompts you to reflect on past restrictions or fears around your individuality and creativity. So this is a time where, letting go of that last bit of um, fear that you've been holding on to. Okay, it also invites you to embrace your freedom and authenticity more fully and overcome any anxieties or inhibitions about standing out or being different. Okay? You may experience unexpected shifts or surprising opportunities. You may have a need to rethink what passion and pleasure means to you, which allows you to let go of outdated notions and embrace a more personal and unique form of connections. Okay? And uh, Capricorn rising, you do have a tendency to, you know, harbor that fear energy. So, relax and let it go. And on the 9th, we have Mercury retrograde into Sagittarius. Well, it's in Sagittarius and it's happening in your 12th house, which we spoke about. Your 12th house, that is. So during this influence, your need for retreat and quiet is increased. You may experience a resurfacing of unresolved emotional issues or hidden dynamics that offer opportunities for healing and closure. This is a time to forgive, to release, and reconnect with your inner wisdom. It's a time to be kind to yourself and as you let go of regrets or old stories that no longer serve you. So review your long-term visions and spiritual philosophies rather than and don't rush to conclusions or any decisions, okay? So that's a deep message for you, Capricorn rising. So we have 1111. This is a spiritual number, and there's a deep message within this warning. Within this um, number sequence. So we have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, and this is happening in your 7th house of relationships. Okay? So something about your relationship is changing for the better, and it looks like it's a higher love type because it's 1111. So this transit favors harmonious partnerships and honorable alliances in business or marriage. This is a time of reflection or re-evaluation of your relationships. However, this transit tends to bring positive outcomes for partnerships, often granting fortune in material or business alliances with the possibility for strengthening bonds rather than um, creating conflict. Okay, and on the 19th, we have the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. And this is happening in your 11th house of friend zone, luck, hopes, wishes. Okay? This transit brings your focus on reassessing your support systems and the alignment of your social engagement with your authentic goals. You may find yourself drawn to more meaningful interactions that encourage emotional bonding or healing within your social circle. Your intuition and emotional insights are heightened here, and you can understand group dynamics more deeply and transform your social environment accordingly. Okay? So that's a good start for setting your intentions, because we all want to have clarity, especially when we're around large groups of people. We want to understand the purpose of others when we're in a group of them. So the sun enters Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 12th house of self-undoing, retreat, ancestry, unconscious energies, karma, psychic information as well. Let's see. So during this transit, you may experience heightened intuition, vivid dreams, and a pull towards healing or spiritual practices. It encourages you to honestly evaluate your internal motivations without ego interference. Okay, the sun is your ego, and a lot of times that get in the way. All right, but it's asking you to do it without your ego involved. And to bring your unconscious patterns into your awareness to transform them. This is a time to rest, renew, and prepare for a new cycle of outward expression. Okay? So on the 27th, we have, let's see, change that. We have Saturn stationing direct. And this is happening in your 3rd house of communication, short-term travel, your local community, your siblings and friends. Writing is also a part of this house. So this transit may make you more serious and cautious. This is Saturn energy. Saturn is always a serious, heavy earth energy in how you express yourself and interact with others. You could take on duties related to teaching, writing, or managing information. And you might feel the need to be precise and clear in your communication. There can be challenges like feeling uninhibited or you struggle to express yourself freely. This may be the time for developing more mature, disciplined communication skills while also listening to your intuitive understanding. Okay? So don't, let the Saturn energy overpower your intuitive processes that Pisces have with you. Okay, your relationship to this Pisces energy is real. So on the 29th, we have Mercury stationing direct in Scorpio, and this is happening in your group alliances, your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Okay, so during this time, you may find yourself engaging in meaningful conversations that challenge your beliefs and stimulate your mind in your group settings. Your communication style may be passionate, precise, and emotionally intense, which can enhance your ability to inspire and influence your social circles or organizations that you fit into. So this is a great and excellent time for networking, brainstorming, innovative solutions, and pursuing collective causes that resonate deeply within your values. Misunderstandings or conflicts may arise from intense or secretive communication. So be open, because people are watching and they want to know too. Because you didn't share it with the whole group. They're like, they talking about me. I don't know. But I'm just saying scenario. So anyway, Capricorn Rising, this is your forecast for November 2025. And until next time, bye for now.